Unprepared to turn the page on current conflicts, World Championship Wrestling develops a concept that provides its performers an opportunity to settle differences without the parameters of a governing body, by presenting an unsanctioned event, leading to the first ever WCW Uncensored. The concept involves confrontations in which rules would be unenforced, and anything-goes tactics allowed, but no titles would be on the line. The first ever meeting between Hulk Hogan and Big Van Vader took place at Super Brawl 5, but was marred by controversy after the Nature Boy Ric Flair got involved in the contest, prompting a disqualification. Despite being retired and suspended, Flair vows to make his presence felt at Uncensored, due to the unsanctioned nature of the event. Sting and Macho Man Randy Savage faced Avalanche with Big Bubba Rogers at Super Brawl in tag team competition, and was also marred by a controversial finish. Sting is set to meet Big Bubba and Savage against Avalanche in singles contests, while the Nasty Boys and Harlem Heat collide in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Additionally, a King of the Road match, a boxing match, a martial arts match, along with a main event, a leather strap match between Hogan and Vader, at the inaugural WCW Uncensored. The first ever WCW Uncensored opens with a King of the Road match, where the goal is to battle from one side of the trailer to the opposite side, and activate an air horn attached to the front. Both men struggle for the horn and knock each other against the metal. Dustin halts Bully's usage of a piece of wood and executes an awkward pile driver. They also both execute suplexes, and Dustin drops a hay bale onto Bully's head. At one moment, Dustin smashes a crate against Bully's back. The pieces of wood tumble onto the road as the truck drives over them. The truck gets back on the move, and Dustin employs a bucket of water. They ultimately battle their way to the horn, but Bully shoves Dustin aside and honks it to claim victory. A martial arts contest between Meng and Jim Duggan is next. Guest referee Sonny Ono demands that Duggan show respect to both Meng and himself. Jim declines, and they spend a significant amount of time trying to make him yield. He eventually agrees, but Meng delivers a kick to him and they exchange chops and punches until Duggan takes off his boots to use as weapons. However, that's insufficient, and Meng repeatedly resorts to nerve holds and choking. He even puts Jim in a fearsome double nerve hold. Meng follows up with additional chops, prompting Duggan to respond with headbutt, injuring himself in the process. Parker takes advantage of this moment to choke Duggan with his handkerchief. Nevertheless, Jim retaliates. He intimidates Ono before hitting Meng with a running clothesline. He quickly gets back up while Parker diverts Duggan's attention, which allows Meng to execute a savate kick on Duggan for the victory. The third contest would be a boxing match between current TV champion Arn Anderson and ex-title holder Johnny B. Bad. Bad dominates the first round with quick punches, and the surprised Arn has to regroup. He tries some takedowns in round 2, but Johnny keeps knocking him to the mat. Bad also lands lots of body punches in the corner. The round ends, but Arn attacks during the break and gives Johnny a DDT. He also attacks again while Rock is talking strategy. Anderson reminds the ref there's no DQ and throws Bad over the ropes. Arn continues his attack and whips Bad into a stool before landing a spinebuster. However, Rock jumps on Arn's back, but he shakes it off and sends Johnny back to the floor where Parker attacks him. Then, the round ends. Rock uses the break to cut one of Bad's gloves free, but Arn doesn't notice. He attacks Johnny only for Rock to place a spit bucket over Arn's head. Bad punches it and removes his glove. He then nails the kiss that doesn't miss for the knockout win. The next contest features the Colossal Avalanche taking on the Macho Man Randy Savage in singles action. Savage weaves and then strikes Avalanche, who attempts to counterattack, but Savage dodges and Avalanche falls to the ground. Savage continues to strike with axe handles, yet cannot slam the large man, which creates an opportunity for Avalanche to unleash a series of attacks. He delivers elbows, leg drops, and even executes an impressive dropkick. Savage tries to mount a comeback, but Avalanche sends him crashing into the guardrail. He then prevents Savage from getting back into the ring until he blocks a suplex. Savage delivers another axe handle and attempts a sunset flip, but Avalanche sits on him. He then interrupts another Savage comeback by catching him midair. They then brawl to the outside, where a rather rugged-looking woman with abundant hair leaps over the railing and assaults Savage, delivering chops. The woman reveals herself to be Ric Flair in disguise. He assists Avalanche in executing an avalanche drop, prompting the referee to call for the bell. Hogan rushes into the ring to halt the assault while Flair and Avalanche withdraw. Flair and Avalanche celebrate together as Hogan helps Savage out of the ring. Sting meets Big Bubba Rogers in the next singles contest. Big Bubba points at Sting, causing him to bite Bubba's hand. Then, Sting dons his hat and strangles him with the coat, but Bubba escapes, leading Sting to leg drop the hat. Sting keeps up his offensive. He spins Bubba around and sends him crashing to the floor. He also drives Bubba into the post before bringing him back to the ring for a splash and a slap. Bubba dodges additional attacks and Sting injures himself while attempting a leapfrog. Bubba recognizes his chance and assaults Sting's leg for a period, then interrupts Sting's attempts to recover, and traps Sting in various leg holds, which persists until Bubba accidentally falls from the top rope. Sting responds with a sleeper hold, but Bubba escapes by using his tie to execute a jawbreaker. Sting retaliates with a German suplex and a flying splash. However, in a moment of desperation, Bubba targets Sting's knee. Sting attempts another comeback, but his knee gives way on a slam attempt, resulting in Bubba pinning him. The next match is a Texas Tornado match, falls count anywhere between Harlem Heat with Sherri and the Nasty Boys. Sherri enters the ring by herself with the belt slung over her shoulders. She pretends to be perplexed and calls out for Booker T and Stevie Ray to come to her. The Nasty Boys make their way into the arena. They bring the trash can along and step into the ring, but Harlem Heat assaults from the audience. Everyone fights and Harlem Heat gain the early upper hand. Booker T delivers a Harlem sidekick and then they execute a frightening spike pile driver on Knobbs. Sags returns to the ring and the Nasty Boys grab Sherri. They perform the Pity City on her, then Sags dumps trash on Stevie Ray. The brawl then spills out of the ring and moves toward a visibly fake concession stand. The area quickly turns into a chaotic mix of food and beverages. Sherri chokes Sags while Stevie Ray rubs cotton candy on his head. Booker T and Knobbs join in, but falls on the slick surface. Next, the Nasty Boys toss some trays and spray mustard on Stevie Ray. Somehow, Knobbs finds a hockey stick and uses it while landing on his rear. Everyone is sliding and falling, and Sags nearly pulls off Sherri's top. Booker T tries for a slam, which is risky due to the unstable footing. It's fortunately blocked, but they end up collapsing the funnel cake stand. Knobbs manages to recover and delivers a power slam for the victory. In the main event, WCW World Champion Hulk Hogan takes on Big Van Vader in a non-title leather strap match. They fight both inside and outside the ring. Hogan keeps the upper hand with punches and biting. He additionally lashes both Vader and Flair with the strap. Renegade does his utmost to keep Flair away and even sends Vader back into the ring. Hogan and Vader engage in a tug-of-war with the strap, where Vader drags him into several avalanche assaults. This is followed by slamming Hogan down and executing a Vader bomb. After that, Vader nearly chokes Hogan unconscious using the strap. He then follows this by whipping Hogan, but Jimmy Hart appears in torn clothing. He intervenes to prevent Vader from using a chair, and Hogan instead takes control of it. Hogan then repeatedly drives Vader into the post and lashes him with the strap. They grapple on the floor again where Hogan begins touching the posts, but Vader halts him after 2. Vader retaliates and strikes Renegade before chokeslamming Hogan within the ring. However, Hogan powers up and delivers the big boot and leg drop. He then successfully touches 3 corners before Vader interrupts him. Next, a masked figure shows up and smashes a wooden chair over Renegade, prompting Flair to interfere in the contest. The masked figure departs while Vader drags Hogan to 3 corners. He tries for the 4th, but Flair places a chair under Hogan's head and instructs Vader to splash him. Vader naively agrees, only to miss a somersault dive. Flair pulls Vader out of the ring for his protection and goes back to attacking Hogan. Unfortunately, Hogan powers up and turns his aggression toward Flair. He lashes him with the strap and strikes with the big boot and leg drop. Then, Hogan secures himself to Flair and touches all 4 corners and the bell sounds. After the match, Flair and Vader assault Hogan. They attempt to clothesline Hogan using the strap, but he takes down both individuals. Renegade then halts the assault, but the masked figure comes back. However, Arnold Anderson shows up with his hands and feet bound. He's donned in the masked man's attire. He takes off the mask to disclose Randy Savage. Randy strikes Vader with a chair, prompting him to withdraw, and he celebrates with Hogan inside the ring. Following Uncensored, Arn Anderson resumed his focus of the television championship, successfully defending against Alex Wright at Slamboree, before losing to the Renegade at the Great American Bash. The Nasty Boys and Harlem Heat's rivalry led to further confrontation over the WCW Tag Team Championships, while matters with Sting and Big Bubba still remained unsettled. Big Van Vader would be stripped of the United States Heavyweight Championship by Commissioner Nick Bockwinkel, due to his hospitalization of Dave Sullivan. Nonetheless, Randy Savage inserted himself squarely in the middle of the conflict between Hogan, Vader, and Flair. Though he teamed with Hogan to face Flair and Vader at Slamboree, Savage would soon be caught in the crosshairs of Hogan and Flair over the world title.